the JIPMAT examination. There is no back of the examination. You need to move forward. Today we are going to discuss about what should be your plan of action for the next 7 days to crack IPMAT Rohtak. Now, before I move to common mistakes that you should avoid, few quick things that you must do to clear IPMAT Rohtak with a very good score. First, in IPMAT Rohtak, every time you will come across questions which are direct application based questions. So last to last year there was a straight away question where you had to use trigonometry, sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, and you have to get it, you have to solve the question. Last year I remember there was a question which was based on time speed distance, the length of platform was given, the length of the train was given, and the time to be calculated. That was the one question, direct straight away application of the formula. And such question, out of 40 quantity questions, will at least come across 8 to 10 questions which are straight away direct application of formula, and hence you need to quickly revise all your formula so that you don't waste your time on the exam day. I always say that if you have let's say you save 15 seconds per question out of 40, let's say you save 15 seconds in 20 questions, so 15 into 20 is 300 minutes. That's close to around 300 seconds. My bad, 300 seconds is 5 minutes. In 5 minutes probably you will be able to attempt 2 or 3 more questions that would fetch you at least 8 to 12 more marks, which means it's a you can either get into IPM Rohtak or you can be rejected. Okay, so that's the difference of saving 15-20 seconds in every question. So quickly revise the formula. Second thing, moving into logical reasoning section, there is always 3 to 4 questions on clocks and calendar. So I would suggest that you should revise the formulas for clocks. There are formulas for clock to find the angle, to find the time. There is a formula, so you need to revise so that you don't waste your time. And there are calendar questions, always 1 or 2 calendar questions. So make sure that you are thorough with the approach, how to solve the calendar question, so that you don't waste your time in the examination. There is always 4 to 5 data sufficiency questions which have been asked in IPMAT Rohtak. These questions are at times tricky, so ensure that you have practiced enough data sufficiency question, because data sufficiency is something which is not tested in most of the exam. IPMAT Rohtak test every time, so ensure that you have revised the data sufficiency concept and you have practiced at least 20-30 questions in next 7 days, so that you are used to it and you don't make silly mistakes in the exam. And coming to the verbal ability, ensure that the idioms and phrasal verbs are thoroughly revised, because 4 to 5 questions you'll always get. And if you have 4 to 5 questions, then in that case you are at least ensuring that those questions are you are getting those questions correct. Okay, Dhairi, I will take your questions. I'll take questions one by one. Yeah. Moving on to now the most important thing. Why am I here? You can definitely increase your marks in IPMAT Rohtak by at least 20 to 25 marks. Quickly do this 5 to 6 things while you're writing the IPMAT Rohtak mock as well as on the exam day. Just quickly remember these few things first. I am sure after the JIPMAT examination, all of you will agree with me that there is no scope or there is no way in should be playing the cutoff, because if you go with a predetermined mindset, then you are definitely going to falter. IPMAT Rohtak in last 4 years, the cutoff went from 276 to 312 to 409 and then 301. Okay, the cutoff we have seen, just imagine 276 to 309 to 306 to 409, and then again coming down to 301. So that's quite a huge deviation in the score, which clearly means that the level of difficulty of IPMAT Rohtak is not constant, and you cannot go with a predetermined mindset. Okay, that's point number 1 to be remembered. That's the first blunder that you should definitely avoid. The second, coming to the strategy, unlike JIPMAT, IPMAT Rohtak, you need to be quicker enough. There will be more number of questions, less number of time. JIPMAT was 100 questions, 150 minutes. Here you have 120 questions, 120 minutes, which means you always need to go for those low-hanging fruits. Which means, that's the phrase of the day. You can say that the idiom of the day, low-hanging fruits. Okay, that would mean that go and attempt those questions first, which are easy, which are less time consuming, and you feel that the accuracy is going to be bang on. Okay, don't go with your favorite section. I like quant, I'll do that first. I'll solve English, I'll solve complete English. I mean, I'm good at logical data interpretation. I'll solve all 40 questions of LRDI. Never do that. So you should start with a strong section, but don't try to attempt everything. Try to attempt only those questions which are easy, which are doable, and which would not take enough time. Okay, so apply that ABC strategy that IMS always keeps on talking. Abhi karo, baad mein karo, chhod do. Okay, I don't think you will get enough time to again come back to those questions. So what you need to ensure is that try to attempt the question which you are most likely to attempt in a lesser time limit and have a higher accuracy. Now I have one question. Akruti is asking what should be the strategy, what the areas are, what should be the time distribution, and sir, my quant is good, but I am unable to score about 35 questions, but can't do due to less time. So I'll take this question because it's relevant right now. Okay. If you are able to attempt 35 questions in Rohtak, I think that is absolutely fine. 35, I'm able to do about 35 questions. 35 questions out of 40 is amazing, I would say. That is great. Don't go and attempt all 40 questions. Probably there will be always 2 to 3 questions which are lengthy, which is time consuming. Those will act as a speed breaker. So never attempt this question, never attempt those questions in the exam. Okay, what should be the time distribution? I would say that I will take this question together, Dhairya and Akruti is asking what should be time distribution, what should be the strategy. Go with your favorite section, the most favorite to the second favorite and the least favorite section. Try to attempt all the easy questions that you can in the first go. So ideally speaking, if you, let's say you start with a verbal section, out of 40 questions, I'm sure you'll be able to attempt 25 to 30 questions in around 20-25 minutes. Okay, so just do that. Then you shift to logical reasoning. I'm sure you will at least be able to solve 30-32 questions in around 35 odd minutes. So we have spent around 20 minutes and verbal in the first go, then 35 minutes, which is 55 minutes, and then go to quant section. Probably around 25 questions you should be able to attempt in another 35 minutes. So 55 plus 35 will give you 90 minutes. Now you are left with 30 odd minutes. So go to those questions which you have marked that type B, baad mein karo type question in all the 3 sections one by one. Your ideal strategy, this is how your ideal strategy should be and your time distribution should be. How many attempts should be made? Roshni, I would always say that more the merrier, because ऐसा तो नहीं है that if I tell you कि 100 करो 100 करके आओगे, if I tell you 90 करो 90 करके आओगे. I always say that don't go with a predetermined mindset कि इतने ही करने हैं. Attempt paper to its merit and ensure that you are always attempting as many questions as possible with a great high accuracy. What should be the good score? I think Shweta, I discussed that, depends on paper to paper. In last 4 years, the cutoff has gone from 276 to 306 to 409 to 301 again. So depending upon the paper level of difficulty or attempt will increase, the good score will also change. Okay, let me move on to the next very important thing. In IPMAT, you had time to read question twice to understand, take time. In Rohtak, you don't have that time. So don't waste your time in reading the question 2 times, 3 times. Probably you read for the first time, you read slightly with a lesser speed so that you don't have to reread that question again. As I said earlier as well, that even if you are saving 10 seconds for every question of rereading it, okay, and if you are, let's say you save that 10 seconds for 40 odd questions, that would mean 400 odd seconds, that is close to around 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Probably you will be able to attempt 3 to 4 more questions in that time frame. So don't do that mistake. Okay, I always say that attempt paper to its merit. Now it might happen, I'm not saying it happens in Rohtak. Rohtak is a very standard paper that keeps on coming every year with a varying level of difficulty. Okay, the type of question are always same, more or less same, I can say that. If in case there is a different question stem or a different question style which is being asked on the day of Rohtak, remember one thing, that if it is different for you, it is different for everyone. So no need to panic. No need to get yourself under the pressure and start panicking and do underperform. What you can do is, if the paper really comes out to be difficult, or if there's something different, I would say that if there's some questions which are different, skip them. If the paper is difficult, it is difficult for everyone, not only for you. So take a pause of 10-15 seconds, probably drink a water, have a sip of water, so that you calm down and then try to attempt it. And this strategy works also when you are not able to attempt 2-3 questions in a line and then you start panicking. Have a sip of water, drink a sip of water to calm down your body temperature. That will definitely help you to groom yourself and reorganize yourself and attempt the paper. You can argue that why to waste those 30 odd seconds. Probably this, I would say, it is not wasting 30 seconds, it is investing 30 seconds in the upcoming 1 hour or whatever time is left, so that you don't goof up under time pressure and you don't start panicking and attract negative marks. Okay. Don't take unwanted chances. I have seen last year so many students, they just bluffed the question because a year before the cutoff went up to 409 and they were not able to attempt this year. Last year they were not able to attempt more than 90-95 questions. So anyways, the chance of scoring more than 400 was anyways less. And to everyone's surprise, the cutoff went down to 301. Now what happened was, though the student who attempted bluff, they ended up attracting negative marks. And I know one particular student, his score was 300 marks. The cutoff was 301 and he ended up scoring 300 marks. And he told me that at the end, he attempted around 17 to 20 odd question. He just bluffed the question based on some, there was some, calculation that he did, and, some gut feel with some gut feeling and calculated guess. He some randomly marked 17-20 question in less than 2 minutes. Firstly, you cannot do wild guesses, calculated better than less than 2 minute 20 questions, right? So don't ever do that. Don't make that mistake. The paper could be really difficult, and you may the cutoff may even go down this year. Okay, from 301 it may go down to 250. If the paper is easy, it may again go up to 350 or 400. So I always say that safeguard your positive score. That's a key, guys. Okay. Let me take next question. Once is asking, sir, my quant is not good. I find it difficult to solve. What should I do in the 7 days for IPMAT Rohtak? So once, if you are good at logical reasoning and if you are good at verbal ability, you have 80 questions. Now, if you get out of this 80 question around 70-75 correct, let's say even if you get 70 correct, you end up scoring 280 marks. Now, even if your quant is not good, probably this 80 question you will be able to solve in 70 or max 80 minutes. You have still 40 minutes. Even if your quant is not good, I am sure you will be able to attempt at least 20 questions in IPMAT Rohtak. Right? If you are able to attempt 20 questions in 40 minutes, and let's say you end up getting only 15 correct and 5 wrong. So 60 minus 5 is 55. So 280 and 55, you will still end up getting 335 marks. So that's still possible. Correct? So if you are not good at quant, try to maximize your score. I said 280 on a optimistic, realistic side. Probably you can also score to 300 also by getting 74, 75, 76 correct out of 80. So try to maximize your score in verbal and LR, and maybe in the 30-40 minute try to attempt 15 to 20 quant questions so that you at least get that benchmark of 330, 340 odd marks. Will that be enough? I cannot guarantee that right now will that be enough or not, because it will completely depend upon what is the level of difficulty of QA section this year. A lot of times students would generally able to attempt all LR and verbal question. Now whether the cutoff will be 300 or it will be 350, it will totally depend upon what is the level of difficulty this year. Some more important topics in LR. Rishika, as I mentioned, clocks and calendar data sufficiency is something that you should definitely do, because clocks, calendar and data sufficiency, these are two topics which are not enough tested in most of the exam. But Rohtak will always test 4 to 5 data sufficiency question and 2 to 3 clocks and calendar question. The other topics like blood relation, direction sense, arrangement, linear, circular, and visual reasoning, verbal reasoning is a common topic. So I'm sure you would be practicing them. So there's nothing that you can miss out in logical reasoning when it comes to Rohtak examination. So can you tell some priority topics for quant and IPMAT Rohtak? Yes, Soumya. So arithmetic plays a very important role when it comes to you. Last year out of 40 question, around 9 to 10 question were based on arithmetic. And then from every topic like linear quadratic, you will have 4 questions, you will not have very difficult questions like logarithm, functions, graph, inequality, difficult questions. There will be very basic function questions and very basic logarithm questions, if any. But otherwise, if you talk about numbers, if you talk about permutation, combination, probability, set theory, progression, then you have linear, quadratic, surds and indices, number theory, number system, divisibility. You will find questions from every topic. Mensuration. You will find top questions from every topic. Again, to in a nutshell, arithmetic is the key. I would say that you'll at least be able to attempt 9 to 11 questions if you simply do arithmetic thoroughly. Okay. Uh, can we start with verbal? Yes, need definitely. You can start with verbal, go to logical reasoning, try to attempt as many questions as possible in those two sections. The questions which are doable, the questions which are not lengthy, should be done in the first round. Once you are done with the remaining question of easy quant question, then again come to LR and verbal to attempt those questions which are slightly lengthy. Okay, Dhairya, Rohtak is normally not as calculated as IPMAT, right? Yes, Dhairya, absolutely yes. Is not as calculated, but then you never know that. Okay. Vansh, sir, my quant is not good. I find difficult. I think I have answered this. Dhairya, understand the concepts and learn the shortcuts and formula. Absolutely, Dhairya. Very good, very well said, Dhairya. That's what I have been telling. In Rohtak, you'll always find 8 to 12 questions, 8 to 10, 12 questions, which are straight away application of formula. Okay, shortcut is secondary. Formula aata hai, you will be able to solve those questions in a minute's time. So ensure that you are thorough with the formula. When can I find the past year's papers of Rohtak? The area, unfortunately, Rohtak never discloses, never gives their actual exam paper. Okay, so we don't have, we only get to the question type from the students' feedback. That's it. You're welcome, Vansh. You're welcome. So the most important topic in quant, Pranav. I think I just mentioned. I'll repeat it for you again. Arithmetic is going to be the key. Around 9 to 11 questions from arithmetic. Numbers, linear, quadratic. You will find at least 5 to 7 questions on numbers, linear, and quadratic equation. Geometry, mensuration. You will find around 4 to 5 questions. You'll also find questions on PNG, progression, set theory. Very basic questions on functions and trigonometry and logarithm, if there are going to be any very easy questions. So function, trigo and logarithm is a topic where a student don't like it much. But if there is a question from this topic, the modern maths topic, then the questions are generally very easy. They are not, they are not difficult. If you only know the concept of it, you will be able to sail through. Okay, I think once let's take this question later about Maharashtra CT. I'll do the same session on Maharashtra CT general knowledge. So Maharashtra CT session. So let's tackle this question then. What about PNG, sir? Pranav, yes, permutation, combination, and probability is being tested in Rohtak. You'll always find around 2 to 4 questions from PNG probability. So, see, there are 40 questions. You need to understand that, hardly there will be a chapter जिसमें से एक आध दो question नहीं आएगा, right? There are 40 questions, and there are not much topics which will be left out. Probably inequalities, graphs, जो difficult concept, that is not generally taken. Otherwise, hardly there is an issue. Okay. Fine. So I think I have answered most of the question, and I am sure this session was helpful. I'll again make one more video 2 days before Rohtak for quick tips and the checklist for Rohtak. So stay tuned on it. Today I am again going to come live in the evening at around 5:30 p.m. for the last 7 days tip for SET examination. For all those who are also going to write SET on the 5th, so for them. Okay, I have few more questions. Matrices determinant comes in Rohtak. There was a determinant question 2 years back, but it was a 2 by 2 matrix and simply calculate the value. It has a trigonometry inside the matrix, like sine theta minus cos theta, and something like that. Basically, eventually it turned out to be sine square theta plus cos square theta is going to be 1. Okay, so very basic concept of determinant was tested once. Which have more questions, geometry or modern maths? I would say modern maths, because modern maths have so many different variations. So modern maths, let me include progression, let me include set theory, functions, inequalities, graphs, matrices determinant. So modern maths you can expect more questions than geometry, because geometry you have limited. Okay. Great. So That's it from my end. I will end this session. Thank you everyone. Bye bye and all the best for your Rohtak examination.